What's up YouTube, and welcome back to Homebrew Subaru. In this episode I'm going to change out the window motor on the driver's door of the Forester. So what's up everyone? I have decided to change the window motor in the Forester before I go for this trip. I just had this idea. I'm on that trip and the window gets stuck wide open, and yeah, that would be my luck. So the window motors that we pulled out last week, I'm going to take the one that I need for the driver's door on the Forester and go ahead and install it. I'm going to show you how to do it, and at the same time I'm going to show you a couple things that are a little bit tricky to deal with. So as you can see, it's a gorgeous day outside, and I just decided I'll do this, and I got to clean the inside of the Forester at the same time, vacuum it out and clean it up before I go. But I wanted to show you how bad this motor is before I take it out. So it's barely moving, and literally I've been pulling up on the motor as I hit the switch to get the window to close. And this has been this way for at least since last winter. It's been this bad, and I just keep on putting it off. Well, I didn't have the extra motor, and now I do. So I'm going to show you where everything is and set up the tripod. We'll get this thing changed out. So the first thing we want to do is get the window back up in the up position. You can always do that after taking the panel off by just plugging the switch back in, but might as well do it now. So you need the bare minimum tools to do this. Just a pick and Phillips screwdriver is what I'm starting with. And up here on the handle you got this little tab, Phillips screw in behind it. There's another one down in here. And then you should just be able to grab the window switch and start pulling up on it. There's a little tab that kind of holds it up in the front and right here. And then just go ahead and unplug it. And then this little piece of trim around the handle, you got to pop it off. Same on Impreza. Be very gentle and very slow. Very simple to break these tabs off. And then this piece of trim up here on the mirror, you need to pop it off. It's just got a couple little kind of plugs that hold it on. And now we're ready to pop this panel off. So I got a trim tool. Oftentimes you can just use a screwdriver instead of one of these, because these guys don't always work, but once you start getting it to pop, just go along the bottom really slow. Work your way along the sides. And once you get it this loose, give a nice little kind of shove upward, and the whole thing will come off. Now I know this has been apart before, and I do actually believe this door was replaced on this vehicle at some point because of an accident, but you want to make sure that you get your retainers back off and onto the door panel before you go to install it, or they'll butt up against it and it won't want to seat flush. So I had really forgotten, and I know I didn't put these in here, but there's obviously aftermarket speakers in the front, and I thought the other side was blown, but it must be loose like this one is and just jingling it around in the door. So I'm gonna have to do something about that. But to get the window motor out, you got an electrical connector right here, and we're gonna have to take the speaker out regardless to kind of pull this wind barrier back, and then you can reach your hand in some of the access holes to work blind, because you literally have to thread the screws out without actually seeing them. Once you get to this point and have the barrier up out of the way, you can reach your hand in behind here, start feeling around for the screws. The motor lies right here, and just feeling with my hand, I have my fingers on all three screws. One's up in here, one's over here, and the other one's right here. This one's quite close to the gear set, but you should still be able to get it. The tool you're going to use is something like this, just a small Phillips ratcheting bit. And whether you have to put it on a small quarter ratchet or you've got a little ratcheting wrench like this one, this little tool has saved my ass so many times. And I can't believe it's still around. It's the original one that I've had out of a socket set that I bought. But reaching up in behind there, you're gonna have to push this into the screw, forcing it into the screw to crack it loose, because these like to jump on those screws. They're quite tight sometimes. But I have had this out before. It shouldn't be too ridiculously tight. Work by feel, and then once you have one screw out, you get a pretty good idea of how it feels and the size of the head, in case you need to get a little bit bigger head. Phillips screwed a bit to go in there. And you're gonna ruin this fucking shirt. There's number 2. I started stripping it, and I actually had to put a pair of vice grips onto the wrench while pushing on it to get it to crack free. Wow. And I'm the one that put it in there. And you can see I just started to strip it a little bit. And now, in order to get the motor freed up from the regulator, you're gonna have to let some of these screws loose. We don't want to drop the thing right out because it is a complete pain in the ass to get back in. So I would recommend just starting to loosen them off as far as they will go, and just try and pry out the motor. If it won't come, you're gonna have to start backing off the other ones. Impreza's a little different, and probably prying it out is a little different as well. So once you get those bolts loosened up, you want to kind of bang on them a bit to loosen up the regulator away from the actual door frame. And you want to ensure that you have the window braced somehow. You don't want all this collapsing on you, especially with that gear in there and your hand basically on it. So either have someone hold it or wedge the window. But getting that regulator freed up will allow you to at least get the motor to pop. And then usually just a bit of prying will get it out of there. You can pull out on that bracket pretty far, and what you're basically trying to do is get the snout of the gear out of a flat plate that goes around it. And once you get it freed up from that, it will drop out. I did end up taking this bottom screw just completely out. There's only like a thread more holding it. And there's the motor. So you can see the replacement out of the Impreza. The wiring harness kind of goes off into a different direction, but they do plug in the exact same. So I'm actually just going to swap this little piece of harness with this retaining tab onto the new motor before I put it in. So I'm just taking the wiring harness off the motor we just took out, and I noticed this staining on here, but there's actual water dripping out of this thing. So we'll take it apart later. I'll show you what happens to them most of the time, that you can actually do a quick repair on them and put them back in. So this is basically reverse the removal procedure to reinstall. I'm gonna use one of the good bolts that I have from the Impreza to put back in here. Getting this thing jammed back into that plate so that the nose of this seats into place is a little difficult, but once you have it in there, you should be able to just kind of line it up and thread the screws in. You got your 3 screws back in, can go and tighten them up, and honestly they probably don't need to be that tight. Just make sure they are tight. And then make sure to retighten the regulator. And then the main thing, before you get too far back together, especially with the door panel, make sure to plug the motor back in. So the rest of it's pretty straightforward. Put your window deflector back on. Make sure you have all the clips back into the door panel. Of course, mount your speaker back in, and then reinstall everything. I've got to do something with the speaker, so I'm going to leave this apart for now. Oh, I forgot, we never even tested the thing. Okay, so I got it good and working again. One last thing I like to do is get the window down to here and give the rail a good lubing, give the slides a good lubing, and that'll help the motor last a little longer. Okay, so this is the motor out of the Forester. I really don't know how all the water's made its way in there. I'm probably going to have to do a little investigating, but what likes to happen with these is the gear set actually seizes up, and whether water gets in there, it gets dry, but rust does build up and prevents the motor from turning it. So what I have done in the past is actually taken these apart and clean them up, put them back together, and they've worked fine. I've done that actually to the passenger side of the Forester maybe 3-4 years ago, and it is still working perfectly fine. So I'm just going to crack this thing apart quickly. 3 Phillips screws. You can kind of pop off this back plate and get a good look at what's going on. You see the water still dripping out of it. So the motor is pretty full. Probably wouldn't want to use it. Once you have those out, that should just come off of there. And this is wanting to leave everything behind. So this is supposed to come apart. It's like, oh, there we go. So that worm gear was really hard coming out of there, just because this is so seized. I can barely turn it with my fingers, and you can imagine with the condition of the water in there. I'm sure all this could be cleaned up and still used, but this is the problem. Able to knock most of that off. Just a little bit of the same kind of door glue or that urethane holding it on. And look at the rust buildup in there. This does all come apart. You can clean everything up and put some new grease in there, repack it, make it spin nice and freely. And if you had a really good motor, you'd be set to go. The other trick to this is if you do need a motor, you can always steal it from the other side if you need so. So you can just take that motor assembly off, put it into the different style gear set, and away you go. So yeah, there's no way that you'd go ahead and start cleaning this up and try and reuse it. These are only about $30 or $40 online if you look around, and replacing it is the biggest deal. It's just I like to save that $30 or $40 when I know I have it in a car, so I've already peeled that little bit of money out of the Impreza. So I think I got the stripe of door glue that was on my face off of it, but I don't normally film those little type of jobs. They're, you know, the aggravation that you can go through doing something like that and putting it on camera can be something you just don't feel like doing, to be honest. But I'm glad that I did it. I know a lot of people are running those older Foresters, the older Imprezas, and from what I can see, there's not a lot of videos on that job. I saved a small fortune doing that myself, so not only getting the motor out of this car for free, saving the $40 or whatever, the amount of labor that goes into that. So you got to think, if you take that into somewhere, my window's not working, diagnosis, installation, part, you're talking a few $100 to get a window working in your vehicle again. So that literally didn't cost me anything but time. I'm glad that I got it done, because I'll go on this trip, I won't have to think about it. And yeah, so by the time you guys are watching this, I'll probably be back and in the garage filming something else. So make sure to check back next week. If you like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. And if you're new here and you haven't already, please consider hitting that subscribe button for me. Leave your questions and comments further down below. And I'll see you in the next one.